For my network learning project, I learned about parts of a computer and also learned how to make simple repairs and put a computer back together. I learned my skills by watching a variety of YouTube videos. I posted the links to the most important ones on my blog. What I'm going to do is demonstrate that I learned how to put a computer together by replacing a hard drive and keyboard and making sure that everything's functioning properly. In this case, the first thing I need to do is put my hard drive in. It's attached by this ribbon. What I need to do is make sure that the ribbon's held in place, so I need to slide it into its spot, and then there's a little lever that I need to push down, and then it's going to hold it in place and won't let me move this. Then what I need to do is just set the hard drive in place and make sure that it's screwed in properly. It's important for hard drives not to bounce around, so I need to make sure that these are done and they're done well. One thing I learned while I was doing this is that it takes a little bit of a touch to get used to these very small screws. They're very easy to fumble around and misplace, so it's important that when you're taking apart a computer that you keep them organized and you know which ones you took out first. The next thing that I'm going to do is make sure that this metal piece is put on. This actually holds everything together and separates the keyboard from everything else. So I just need to make sure I have it set so that it lines up with the screws that help hold the computer into place. Okay. And then I have just a couple screws to put in here. Okay, the first one's the most important. This one's actually a little bigger than the other ones. I just have to make sure this one's in. This will help hold it in. Now that everything seems to be lined up, I can go ahead and put the other ones in. Now this metal piece is held together, I just need to put my keyboard back on. Okay. The keyboard's actually held in just by a small ribbon. I need to gently slide it in so that it attaches to the central processing unit. And then I'll know if I did this part correctly because when I turn my computer on, the keyboard function should work. Okay, so what I'm just trying to do is be very thorough and just make sure that I have my ribbon attached. In this case, I need to slide. There's a little black bar that I just need to slide out a little bit more so I can slide this piece in. This part takes a little bit of skill, and I actually pushed the black bar in a little bit too far. So I just need to pull it out. And now that it's pulled out, I should be able to slide my ribbon in. It should be in there good enough that I can make sure the keyboard works. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this computer on. And then what I'm really just making sure now is that the keyboard works. Okay, it's beeping right now, the battery must be low, so I'm just going to plug it in. Okay, so we'll wait a second here till it loads up. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure that I have letters functioning, and in this case I do. I'm testing it now before I put the keyboard back on, just so that way if it wasn't working, I could mess around with the ribbon just to make sure it worked properly. In this case, since it's working fine, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to snap the keyboard back in place. Okay, it's held in by some clips along the sides. Okay, so I just need to make sure that it's straight in there straight. And I'm just going to push down. Okay. And in this case, I successfully fixed my computer and I'm able to use it again.